Drones are entering German skies, but the military faces strict limits rooted in history. In the Baltics, governments are preparing for possible mass evacuations as Russian forces loom nearby. From constitutional constraints to border defences, European nations are testing their readiness. Tensions rise, resources are stretched, and the question becomes not if, but how prepared Europe truly is. Germany's military is constrained from taking direct action against drones entering domestic airspace, a restriction rooted in the country's post-World War II constitution. Designed to prevent a repeat of abuses seen under the Nazis, the constitution limits the Bundeswehr's role in internal security, leaving German authorities reliant on police forces that currently lack the technical means to intercept drones. Thomas Roverkamp, chair of the Defense Committee in the Bundestag, said that laws need to be updated, so the Bundeswehr, which possesses the necessary capabilities, is authorized to act in such situations.
We need to amend the laws so that the only ones able to take care of this, namely the Bundeswehr, are also given the authority to do so. The federal police and also almost all state police forces currently have no capabilities whatsoever for drone defense.
Under existing law, the military may respond to attacks on military installations, but drone incursions outside these locations do not meet the threshold for action. Recent incidents indicate an escalation in drone activity, which German authorities say appears linked to Kremlin operations, primarily for espionage. Last year, unidentified drones were reported over facilities belonging to arms manufacturer Rheinmetall and chemical group BASF. While there is no evidence that these drones were armed, their presence has highlighted a security gap. Police, who legally have the authority to neutralize drones, currently do not have the equipment to do so effectively. Public law experts note that the German constitution intentionally restricts military involvement in domestic matters. Katrin Groh, professor at the University of the Bundeswehr Munich, explained that in Imperial Germany and the Weimar Republic, the army was often deployed against political opponents, a history the 1949 Constitution sought to prevent. Facing modern threats, German authorities are seeking ways to respond without breaching constitutional limits. Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt plans to establish a specialized drone defense unit within the federal police and a national center to coordinate efforts between police, intelligence, and the military. He also intends to propose legislation allowing the Bundeswehr to shoot down drones when lives are at risk, although its constitutionality remains uncertain. Thomas Roverkamp noted that without legislative or constitutional change, Germany remains constrained in responding to these provocations. He emphasized the need to reconsider legal distinctions between internal and external security in light of evolving threats, highlighting the challenge for Chancellor Friedrich Merz's coalition, which lacks the supermajority required to amend the constitution. As Germany grapples with these limitations, officials are weighing short-term defensive measures against the longer-term necessity of updating constitutional provisions to align with contemporary security realities. Alarmed by Russia's military expansion since its 2022 invasion of Ukraine, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are drawing up contingency plans to manage potential mass movements of people in the event of a Russian troop buildup or attack. These three Baltic countries, annexed by Moscow during World War II, have consistently raised concerns with NATO about possible aggression, citing recent cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, and incursions by Russian fighter jets and drones. Renatas Pozela, head of Lithuania's firefighting service and involved in the contingency planning, said that the planning has intensified since the three nations agreed to cooperate on civil protection in May. Officials are preparing for scenarios involving hundreds of thousands of evacuees, particularly those living close to the borders with Russia and Belarus. Pozella outlined the potential threat of a rapid military advance along the Baltic borders, possibly aimed at taking control of all three countries within days.
It's possible we will see a mighty army along the borders of the Baltics, with the apparent goal of taking all three countries in 3 days to a week.
Other scenarios include sabotage of communications or transport, civil unrest among Russian-speaking minorities, large-scale migration, and the spread of disinformation that could trigger panic. Arminas Rowdies, a volunteer participating in evacuation exercises in Lithuania, described role-playing the movement of a small group of evacuees from Vilnius. While exercises involve only dozens of people at a time, authorities are planning for much larger numbers, with 500,000 residents in border regions considered at risk. In Kaunas alone, plans are in place to house up to 300,000 people in schools, universities, churches and public arenas, with assembly points, transport routes, and emergency supplies such as beds and essential goods already designated. Currently, the Baltic states do not have plans for relocating evacuees beyond their borders. Road access to Poland is limited, notably through the Suwalki Gap, a narrow corridor that could be prioritized for military movement. Estonian authorities plan to shelter roughly a tenth of the country's population in temporary facilities, while Latvia anticipates that up to a third of its citizens might need relocation. Special attention is being given to Russian-speaking communities, such as Narva in Estonia, where authorities aim to assist residents without alternative housing options. Lithuanian Foreign Minister Kęstutis Budrys emphasized that the measures are designed to reassure citizens that the governments are prepared. According to Pozella, regular planning and coordination exercises are intended to ensure readiness, even as the region faces uncertainty about Russia's future actions.